Hello everyone, it's Suzanne from sunstampin.com. Welcome to another Fabricate Friday video on my YouTube channel and blog. Today's little box is a mummy box. I mean, how cute is this little guy? And we open like that, and there's another mummy inside and a treat. So the Kit Kat fits in there perfectly. Or like almost too perfectly. Had the Coffee Crisp in there, the Smarties will fit. And you could probably put 2 arrows in here. And 2 little arrow bars will fit inside. I thought it was cute to actually put the mummy on the inside too for the kids that might be getting this treat. It's always nice to, when something's that cute, I'd want to play with it. So that comes from the Cookie Cutter Halloween stamp set, and the Happy Halloween comes from the Teeny Tiny Wishes right there. Okay, I'm gonna share with you how to make this little guy. So fun. I'm kind of ecstatic about it. Okay, you need a piece of cardstock that's 7 1/4 by 3 inches, and on the long side I'm going to score at 3/4 of an inch and then 3 1/4, and then I'm just going to turn it around and do 3/4 of an inch and 3 1/4. So it's exactly the same. It's just if my cut was off, which sometimes it is, there's always a little hair of an overlap. So if you wanted to do it all the same, it's 3/4 of an inch and then 3 1/4 and 4 and 6 1/2 if your cuts are perfect. I just find this a little easier to make sure that everything lines up well. So 3/4 of an inch here on the short side, and I'm going to turn it around, and 3/4 of an inch here. So 3/4 and 2 1/4. All right. So again, you don't have to write anything down. I've said this before. I have the direct link in the description bar to my blog. And then on the blog page, you'll find all the dimensions and the measurements and the scoring and all the directions and all of that. Okay, so I just crisped up those lines, and I'm going to do just some simple wedging. And the wedging helps so that the box goes together nicely and you have flush ends. And I'll do it again on this side. And I would use your smaller snips for this. The big ones, which we don't sell anymore, they're awesome, but they're better for bigger projects. This makes quick work of it, and they're super sharp. I don't know if you've ever had these snips before, but holy macaroni are they sharp. Okay, so I'm just going to use fast fuse, and I'm going to put fast fuse on all the little tabs. Pretty simple and straightforward. So I'm just going to take those corners up to the front or the back of the box. It doesn't really matter which at this point. I'll make that the front. Okay. Box made. So, you know, I don't really appreciate those bits that sort of stick out. It drives me a little nuts. So before you do anything, you might want to trim it off a little. You can do this afterwards too, after we put on the mummy wrapping. I have about 3, 4, 5 strips of Whisper White, and I'm just going to show you how I inked them up. I have crumb cake here, and that is crumb cake as well. And just with my ink pads, this is how I store my sponges now. Found these little containers at the dollar store. I think they're for beads, but they fit a sponge in there awesomely. So you just dab the sponge into the ink, and then you sort of just brush it along. So you kind of get this distressed look. So I pre-did a whole bunch so I wouldn't have to waste your time. And yeah, then I'm just gonna pull off the release paper. I have tear and tape on here. You can use whatever adhesive you'd like. It's pretty sticky stuff. So I'm gonna pull off all the adhesive backing. And you never know how much I'll use. I'll try maybe 4. Okay, so the only tip that I can give you, now that we've sort of cut down those edges, make sure that you don't wrap around, because this is a hinge and the paper will impede that. Ask me how I know. So it's pretty simple to do. You just take, this is about a 1/2 inch. These are offshoots from like when I cut my paper down to make layering sheets. Like card fronts. And I just started sort of at the top there, at the side, and I went around the front. So that's what I mean by don't do that on the back. Seriously, take my word for it. Okay, and it's okay if things hang over. I've got enough strips here. And then just occasionally while you're doing it, you'll want to take your paper snips and snip away some of the excess, or else it'll get stuck. I was sticking them just on my hand for right now. Now, I went traveling years back to England, and I went to the British Museum where Cleopatra is. And when I went, she wasn't out of her sarcophagus, so I only got a chance to see her sarcophagus. But recently, a friend of mine went to the British Museum, and he sent me back a photo of Cleopatra actually, like, she's not in her sarcophagus anymore. She's actually like out on display, which I found a little unusual. But her bandages, or her mummy wrap, is seriously, they're not white, just so you know. They're like brown, like tea dyed almost. If I can remember when I edit this video, I'll post a picture right about now. That's why I dirtied these up a little bit. Let's see, yeah. So it really doesn't matter which way you put it on, as long as you're, you know, trying to get, just try to cover it. And it's okay if some shows out and some doesn't. Like if you have some of the box that shows, that's fine too. And you know, if maybe your tape isn't super stuck down yet, you can go over and stick little bits and pieces inside and around. So cute. If I was a kid and I got this, I'd want to play with the little paper mummy inside. So you can see it's shaping up already. It was definitely inspired by the little mummy guy. I guess he's a little Egyptian because no other country has mummies. Or do they? I don't know. Yeah, see? Don't do that. We'll close the box up again. I normally don't take this much time when decorating. I feel like I have to tell you stories. You can go over the back like that, just not, you know, over the corner. And the nice thing about the Terran tape, what I found anyway, was that there's a little sort of a lip so that you're able to stick some of those little pieces of paper in and around to make them look like a mummy wrap, which is what I'm going to do right here. And that's why you sort of wanted to cut the corner actually before. So cute. So I guess while I'm doing this, if you needed any of the supplies and you're Canadian and you don't have a demonstrator, I have a link in the description box if you wanted to go and check out some of the supplies that I'm using for this particular project. You can go right ahead. I would love to be your demonstrator. I'm always looking for new Canadian customers, or if you're already a Stampin' Up customer and you want to become a demonstrator, there's lots of bonuses for that. Lots of fun things. One of the fun things I'm really excited about is this November I'm actually going to my very first conference, and that's in Vancouver, actually, close to where I'm from. So I'm trying to figure out what kind of swaps to make, whether I should make a 3D swap, or if I should do a card swap, or if I should do two, or a home decor item. I don't know. I'm trying to think of it. All right, so I'm thinking maybe it's coming together. Okay, and I'm just going to snip off a little bit here and here. And then I think that's pretty much what I want to do before it gets too thick. And then what I did with on the other one too, just because this is lots of paper strips, like sometimes it's like 3 thick, I sort of wanted to press it down and crease it. And then I'm just going to go in with my bone folder just on the edge. Ooh, that's making it shiny. This is just one of my old bone folders. It's actually Teflon, so it doesn't create shine, but you know, your finger would do just as fine. You don't have to be as particular, I suppose, is what I'm saying. Okay. Now, if it looks a bit ratty, that's awesome, because that's the way it's supposed to be. This is so cute. I can't get over how cute this is. All right, so what I wanted to do as well is just take like a hair, and I don't actually own a small punch, and I should, because I'm always looking for something that would create a little bit of a nail hole. So I just did it with my scissors so that it's ever so slightly curved so that people can get their nail in there so that the box can open. I have another mummy that I colored because I have lots of them, and I'm going a little crazy with the dimensional bones, using them up, and they're perfect for the legs, and even a half of one here for the arms. I put a little wink of Stella on the little Egyptian. So, and then I also put wink of Stella all over the Happy Halloween greeting, and I'm just ripping it, you know, because it's supposed to be material. Just sponge the edges. And then I will take my bone folder and sort of round it a little bit, and then make those ends go that way. On the back, so that makes it look like Mr. Egyptian mummy is holding it. And then you need to give this to your kids, or a Halloween party, or your coworkers. Like, how simple was that, and how cute is this little guy? And that means that I need to make another paper mummy. Whee! Awesome. I'm having fun, you guys. So thanks so much for joining me, and I will see you again soon. Bye! Hey, thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. On the screen are 2 more videos for inspiration. To see a picture gallery of all my projects, stop by my blog. Thanks again for watching.